Title: Why Your Struggle is Preparing You for Greatness by AI Audiobooks Empire. Have you ever looked around and wondered why life seems easier for everyone else? Why some people appear to move from one success to another while you continue fighting battles no one else can see? Maybe you've worked hard, prayed faithfully, stayed patient, and still found yourself facing disappointment after disappointment. Perhaps you've asked yourself questions that echo through quiet nights. Why is this happening to me? When will things finally change? Will all of this pain ever mean something? If you've ever felt that way, this audiobook is for you. Because what if your struggle isn't proof that you're failing? What if it's actually evidence that you're being prepared? What if every setback, every delay, every challenge is shaping qualities that success alone could never produce? History is filled with people who experienced their greatest hardships before they made their greatest impact. Their victories didn't happen despite their struggles. They happened because of them. The obstacles they faced became the very training ground that equipped them for extraordinary lives. The same may be true for you. Throughout this audiobook, you'll discover that struggle is not your identity. It is your classroom. It is your training ground. It is the place where resilience is forged, wisdom is gained, character is strengthened, and purpose becomes clear. By the end of our journey together, you'll begin to see your challenges through a completely different lens, not as signs that life is working against you, but as evidence that something greater is being built within you. So, find a comfortable place, take a deep breath, and open your heart to a new perspective. Your story is still being written, and your greatest chapter may be the one you're living through right now. Welcome to the channel. This is a place where timeless wisdom meets practical living. Here, we explore powerful lessons about personal growth, success, resilience, leadership, mindset, relationships, and purpose through immersive audiobooks designed to inspire lasting change. Whether you're listening during your morning routine, your daily commute, while working, or before going to sleep, our goal is simple: to help you become a wiser, stronger, and more confident version of yourself. If you enjoy meaningful audiobooks that encourage both personal and professional growth, you're in the right place. Now, let's begin today's journey. Why your struggle is preparing you for greatness. Every person dreams of greatness. Some dream of building a successful career. Others long to create a loving family, make a difference in their community, achieve financial freedom, or simply live a life filled with peace and purpose. Yet very few people imagine that struggle would become part of that journey. We naturally believe that success should come through smooth roads, open doors, and easy victories. But reality often tells a different story. The people who inspire us the most rarely lived easy lives. They encountered rejection before acceptance, failure before success, loneliness before belonging, sacrifice before achievement. The struggles they endured didn't stop their destiny, they shaped it. This audiobook isn't about pretending that suffering is enjoyable or that every hardship has an obvious explanation. Instead, it's about discovering how difficulties can develop strengths that comfort never could. Together, we'll explore 12 powerful lessons that reveal why your current challenges may be preparing you for opportunities you cannot yet see. You'll learn why struggle develops inner strength, how adversity reveals your true character, Why patience creates lasting success. How obstacles sharpen wisdom. Why resilience becomes your greatest advantage. How pain can clarify purpose. Why perseverance separates dreamers from achievers. And ultimately, why your present season does not determine your future. Most importantly, you'll discover that greatness isn't reserved for a lucky few. It is often built quietly, one difficult day at a time. So, wherever you are today, whether you're discouraged, hopeful, exhausted, or determined, I invite you to listen with an open mind. Your struggle may not be the end of your story. It may be the beginning of something extraordinary. Let's begin with Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Your struggle is building strength you cannot see. Imagine watching someone train for a marathon. From the outside, all you see is effort. Long runs, sore muscles, early mornings, sweat, fatigue. What you don't immediately see is what's happening beneath the surface. Their heart is becoming stronger. Their lungs are becoming more efficient. Their endurance is increasing. Every difficult workout is preparing them for a race that hasn't happened yet. Life works much the same way. Many of the struggles you experience today are strengthening parts of you that will only become visible when tomorrow's opportunities arrive. Strength is rarely developed during seasons of comfort. It grows when life asks more of you than you thought you could give. Today, we'll discover why unseen growth is often the most important kind of growth. One of the greatest misconceptions about success is that successful people simply possess qualities that others don't. We often admire confidence, resilience, wisdom, discipline, and courage as though they appeared naturally. But behind nearly every admirable quality lies a season of struggle. Confidence often grows from surviving uncertainty. Patience develops through waiting. Wisdom comes from mistakes. Compassion grows through personal pain. Discipline is built by repeatedly choosing what is right instead of what is easy. Think about how muscles develop. When you exercise, tiny fibers actually tear. Your body repairs those fibers, making them stronger than before. Without resistance, muscles never grow. Our character follows a similar pattern. Every challenge stretches our emotional, mental, and spiritual capacity. When handled with perseverance, those experiences leave us stronger than we were before. Perhaps you've faced financial hardship. While painful, it may have taught you how to manage resources wisely. Perhaps you've experienced rejection. Although it hurt, maybe it pushed you toward opportunities you never would have explored otherwise. Maybe you've endured failure. Failure often teaches lessons that success cannot. It forces honest evaluation. It encourages humility. It develops resilience. It reminds us that growth is a process rather than a single event. One day, someone may admire your calmness during a crisis. They won't realize that your peace was developed through years of overcoming storms. Someone may admire your leadership. They may never know how many disappointments taught you empathy. Someone may admire your courage. They may not see the countless moments when you acted despite your fears. Your present struggle could be quietly building the very qualities your future will require. That means today's difficulty isn't meaningless. It's preparation. Consider a tree during a storm. Strong winds don't only threaten the tree, they also strengthen its roots. The tree learns to anchor itself more deeply into the ground. Without resistance, shallow roots remain weak. Likewise, life's storms often deepen our foundations. The stronger your roots become, the greater the heights you can eventually reach. This is why some people collapse under pressure while others remain steady. The difference is not the absence of struggle. The difference is what struggle has produced within them. Every challenge offers a choice. You can become bitter, or you can become better. Growth is rarely automatic. It requires reflection, learning, humility, and perseverance. When you begin viewing hardship as training instead of punishment, your perspective changes. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening?" you begin asking, "What is this teaching me?" That single shift transforms struggle into opportunity. Take a moment to think about the hardest season you've experienced. What strengths did that season develop? What habits changed? What priorities became clearer? Who did you become because of that challenge? Is it possible that your current struggle is building qualities you'll appreciate later? Sometimes we only recognize preparation after we've reached the destination. Today, begin a strength journal. Write down one challenge you're currently facing. Then list 3 positive qualities that overcoming this challenge could develop within you. Perhaps it's patience. Perhaps resilience. Perhaps courage. Review your journal each week and notice how your perspective begins to shift from frustration to growth. Struggle develops strength that comfort cannot. Character grows through consistent perseverance. Every challenge contains an opportunity to learn. Your unseen growth may be your greatest preparation. Today's resistance is helping build tomorrow's resilience. Never underestimate the value of quiet growth. The strongest foundations are built long before anyone notices the building standing above them. In the same way, the person you're becoming today is preparing you for opportunities that haven't yet arrived. Trust the process. Your strength is growing, even when you cannot yet see it. Strength is only the beginning. As struggle develops our inner resilience, it also reveals something even more important, our true character. In the next chapter, we'll discover why adversity has a remarkable way of revealing who we really are, and how that revelation becomes one of life's greatest gifts. Chapter 2: Struggle reveals the character that greatness requires. Imagine holding a piece of gold fresh from the earth. At first glance, it doesn't look especially valuable. It's mixed with dirt, rock, and other impurities. To an untrained eye, it might even seem ordinary. But a skilled refiner sees something different. They know that beneath the surface lies something precious. The refining process involves intense heat, not to destroy the gold, but to remove everything that doesn't belong. As the impurities rise to the surface, the gold becomes purer, stronger, and more valuable. Our lives often follow a similar pattern. Challenges have a way of bringing hidden qualities to the surface. They reveal our fears, our strengths, our weaknesses, our values, and our priorities. While this process can be uncomfortable, it is also deeply transformative. In this chapter, we'll explore how struggle acts as a mirror, revealing the character that greatness requires. Character is often misunderstood. Many people think character is simply about appearing kind, confident, or trustworthy. While those qualities matter, true character runs much deeper. It is the foundation beneath your actions, the values and convictions that guide you when no one is watching. The real test of character doesn't come during moments of comfort or success. It comes when life becomes difficult. Anyone can remain calm when everything is going according to plan. Anyone can be generous when resources are abundant. Anyone can stay optimistic when every door seems to open effortlessly. But when disappointment arrives, when plans fall apart, or when life feels uncertain, something remarkable happens. Our true character begins to emerge. Have you ever noticed how pressure reveals what's already inside us? Imagine squeezing an orange. No matter how hard you press, orange juice comes out because that's what's inside. The same principle applies to people. Pressure doesn't create our character, it reveals it. If we respond to hardship with bitterness, perhaps bitterness has taken root within us. If we respond with hope, resilience, and compassion, those qualities are becoming part of who we are. The encouraging news is that character is not fixed. It can be shaped. Every difficult experience gives us the opportunity to grow into someone wiser, kinder, and stronger than before. Consider moments when you've been treated unfairly. Your first reaction may have been anger or frustration. Those emotions are natural. But after the emotions settle, you face a choice. Will you allow resentment to define you? Or will you choose forgiveness, learning, and growth? The decision you make shapes your character far more than the event itself. This is why two people can experience the same hardship and emerge as completely different individuals. One becomes discouraged and cynical. The other becomes compassionate and resilient. The difference isn't the struggle, it's the response. Think about some of the people you admire most. Perhaps it's a teacher who inspired generations of students. A parent who sacrificed tirelessly for their family. A leader who remained humble despite great success. Or a friend who stood beside others through life's darkest moments. Their greatness wasn't built by avoiding hardship. It was built by allowing hardship to refine them rather than define them. Great character is formed through thousands of small decisions. Choosing honesty when lying would be easier. Choosing patience instead of anger. Choosing integrity when no one is watching. Choosing perseverance when giving up feels tempting. These choices may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they become the building blocks of a remarkable life. Character also influences the opportunities we receive. People naturally trust those who consistently demonstrate integrity. Leaders earn respect not because they are perfect, but because they are dependable. Families grow stronger when members choose humility over pride. Friendships deepen through loyalty during difficult seasons. Success built without character often collapses. But success built upon strong character has a lasting foundation. Another important truth is that struggle often exposes areas where we still need to grow. This can be uncomfortable. Perhaps hardship reveals impatience. Maybe it uncovers fear, insecurity, or pride. At first, this can feel discouraging. But recognizing our weaknesses is not a sign of failure. It is the beginning of transformation. Imagine trying to repair a house without first identifying the damaged areas. The repairs would never address the real problem. Likewise, we cannot strengthen our character until we become aware of the places that need attention. Struggle provides that awareness. Instead of viewing these moments with shame, we can approach them with humility. Every weakness we recognize becomes an invitation to grow. Over time, you'll notice something remarkable. The situations that once triggered frustration begin to produce patience. The obstacles that once caused fear begin to inspire confidence. The disappointments that once felt unbearable become stories of resilience. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens one decision at a time, one challenge at a time, one lesson at a time. And as your character grows stronger, you'll discover that greatness isn't measured only by achievements. It's measured by the kind of person you become along the journey. Because at the end of life, people may remember your accomplishments, but they will never forget your character. Think about a recent challenge you faced. How did you respond? Did your reaction reflect the kind of person you want to become? What qualities did that situation reveal? What qualities would you like to strengthen moving forward? Remember, every difficult moment offers a new opportunity to choose growth over instinct. The question isn't whether struggle will test your character. The question is, who are you becoming because of it? Today, choose one character quality you want to develop. It might be patience, integrity, humility, kindness, self-discipline, or courage. Throughout the day, intentionally look for opportunities to practice that quality, especially when it's difficult. At the end of the day, reflect on what you learned. Character grows through consistent practice, not occasional inspiration. Struggle reveals the true condition of our character. Pressure doesn't create character, it exposes it. Every challenge offers a choice between growth and bitterness. Strong character is built through small, consistent decisions. Greatness depends as much on who you become as on what you achieve. Your greatest accomplishment may never be a title, a promotion, or public recognition. It may be becoming a person who remains honest in temptation, hopeful in hardship, humble in success, and compassionate toward others. That kind of greatness cannot be taken away. It is earned through the quiet victories of everyday life. And every struggle you face is helping shape that person. Strength gives us the endurance to keep moving. Character gives us the foundation to stand firm. But there is another lesson struggle teaches that many people overlook. Not every dream arrives on our timetable. Sometimes the greatest preparation happens during seasons of waiting. In the next chapter, we'll discover why patience isn't simply about waiting. It's about growing while you wait, and how that growth prepares you for the opportunities ahead. Chapter 3. Patience is preparing you for the right opportunity. Have you ever planted a seed? The moment it disappears beneath the soil, nothing seems to happen. Days pass, then weeks. The ground looks exactly the same. There are no visible signs of progress, no leaves reaching toward the sky, no evidence that life is growing beneath the surface. If you judge the seed only by what you could see, you might assume nothing was happening. But beneath the soil, an incredible process has already begun. Tiny roots are reaching downward, anchoring the future plant. Nutrients are being absorbed. Life is quietly developing long before it becomes visible. Eventually, a small shoot breaks through the surface. To everyone watching, It appears as though growth has suddenly begun. In reality, the growth started long before anyone could see it. Our lives often unfold in the same way. There are seasons when it feels as though nothing is changing. You've been working hard, learning, improving, and remaining faithful to your goals, yet the results seem distant. Those seasons can be discouraging, but they are rarely wasted. More often than not, they are seasons of preparation. In this chapter, we'll discover why patience is not passive waiting. It is active growth, and it often prepares us for opportunities that arrive at exactly the right time. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting that meaningful growth rarely happens overnight. We live in a world that celebrates speed. We can order products with a click and expect them within days. We receive messages instantly. Information is available within seconds. Gradually, we begin expecting life itself to move just as quickly. We want immediate success, immediate answers, immediate recognition, immediate results. But the most valuable things in life don't follow the world's schedule. Healthy relationships take time to build. Wisdom develops through years of experience. Trust is earned through consistency. Great leadership grows through countless lessons. And lasting success is almost always the result of patient perseverance. Think about a master craftsperson. Whether they build furniture, create works of art, or design beautiful architecture, they don't rush the process. Every detail matters. Every step contributes to the finished masterpiece. If they skip important stages, the final product becomes weak. Likewise, life often slows us down so we can develop the qualities we'll need later. The waiting season is not empty. It's productive. Perhaps you're waiting for a promotion. Instead of focusing only on the position, use this season to develop leadership skills. Maybe you're waiting for financial breakthrough. This may be the perfect time to strengthen your discipline, budgeting, and generosity. Perhaps you're waiting for the right relationship. Instead of simply hoping to meet the right person, become the kind of person who can build a healthy relationship when the opportunity arrives. Preparation transforms waiting into purpose. Many people become discouraged because they mistake delay for denial. But those two things are not the same. A delay simply means the timing isn't right yet. Sometimes circumstances need to change. Sometimes other people need to grow. Sometimes opportunities are still developing behind the scenes. And sometimes the greatest change must happen within us before we're ready for what's ahead. Imagine receiving everything you've ever wanted before you had the wisdom to manage it. Would it truly become a blessing? Or could it become a burden? Many people achieve success before developing character. Some gain wealth before learning financial responsibility. Others receive influence before cultivating humility. Without preparation, even good opportunities can become overwhelming. Patience protects us from receiving something we're not yet ready to sustain. This is why growth matters more than speed. Consider the tallest buildings in the world. Before construction begins above ground, engineers spend enormous amounts of time building the foundation. To someone passing by, it may seem as though little progress is being made. Yet those unseen months determine whether the structure can safely stand for decades. If the builders rushed the foundation, the building would always be vulnerable. Your current season may feel like foundation work. It's not exciting. It's not highly visible. But it's essential. Patience also teaches emotional maturity. Waiting forces us to confront feelings we often avoid. Frustration, uncertainty, impatience, doubt. Instead of allowing those emotions to control us, we learn how to manage them wisely. We become less reactive, more thoughtful, more resilient. Over time, we discover that peace doesn't come from controlling every outcome. It comes from trusting the process while continuing to move forward. Patience is not sitting still. It is continuing to prepare while waiting. It is learning without immediate reward, working without immediate recognition, growing without immediate applause. Eventually, the opportunity arrives. To others, it may look like overnight success. They see the promotion, the business, the achievement, the breakthrough. What they don't see are the years of preparation that made that moment possible. Greatness often appears suddenly. Preparation never does. It happens quietly, day after day, choice after choice, long before anyone notices. That is why patient people are often ready when opportunity finally knocks. They didn't spend their waiting season complaining. They spent it becoming. Perhaps you're in that season today. If so, don't underestimate it. The roots you are growing now will support the life you dream of later. Think about an area of your life where you feel impatient. What are you waiting for? Now ask yourself a different question. Instead of asking, "When will this happen?" ask, "Who am I becoming while I wait?" What skills could you develop? What habits could you strengthen? What lessons could you learn during this season? Remember, waiting is never wasted when it is filled with growth. Choose one goal you've been eagerly waiting to achieve. Then identify one skill or habit that would help you succeed once that goal becomes reality. Commit to practicing that skill every day for the next week. Shift your focus from waiting for the opportunity to preparing for it. By doing so, you'll turn every day into an investment in your future. Patience is active preparation, not passive waiting. Delays often provide opportunities for personal growth. Strong foundations take time to build. Preparation matters more than speed. The person you become while waiting determines how well you handle future success. There will be moments when it feels as though life has forgotten you. When progress seems invisible. When your efforts appear unnoticed. In those moments, remember the seed beneath the soil. Its greatest work happens before anyone sees the first leaf. The same is true for you. Your patience is not empty. It is preparing you for opportunities that require the stronger, wiser, and more resilient person you are becoming. Trust the process. Your season of growth is not behind you. It is happening right now. As patience prepares us for future opportunities, struggle also teaches us another life-changing lesson. The greatest obstacles are often the greatest teachers. In the next chapter, we'll discover how adversity sharpens wisdom, strengthens decision-making, and equips us with lessons that success alone could never provide. Chapter 4. Every obstacle is teaching you something success never could. Imagine two people learning to sail. The first practices only on calm, sunny days. The water is smooth, the wind is gentle, and every lesson feels easy. They become comfortable steering the boat when conditions are perfect. The second sailor experiences something different. They learn during changing tides, strong winds, unexpected storms, and rough waters. They make mistakes, adjust their course, and discover how to stay calm when everything around them feels uncertain. Now imagine both sailors facing a powerful storm in the open sea. Who is better prepared? Almost certainly the one who learned through adversity. The calm waters taught confidence. The storms taught wisdom. Life works the same way. Success often confirms what we already know, but obstacles force us to learn what we still need to understand. They challenge our assumptions, expose our blind spots, and develop skills we never knew we needed. In this chapter, we'll explore why every obstacle carries a lesson, and why those lessons often become the greatest advantage you'll ever have. Most of us naturally try to avoid obstacles. When life becomes difficult, our first instinct is to find the quickest way around the problem. We wish the challenge would disappear so we could return to comfort and certainty. While that reaction is understandable, it can also cause us to miss one of life's greatest opportunities. Every obstacle has something to teach. Sometimes the lesson is practical. Sometimes it is emotional. Sometimes it changes the entire direction of our lives. Think back to a mistake you've made. At the time, it probably felt frustrating, embarrassing, or even painful. You may have wished you could erase it completely. But if you're honest, chances are you learned something valuable because of that experience. Perhaps you became more careful with your decisions. Perhaps you learned to ask better questions before making commitments. Perhaps you discovered the importance of preparation instead of relying on talent alone. Those lessons stayed with you because they were earned through experience. There is an old saying that experience is the best teacher. The reason is simple. Lessons learned through personal struggle become part of who we are. Reading about resilience is helpful. Living through hardship teaches resilience in a way no book ever can. Hearing someone explain forgiveness is valuable. Choosing to forgive after being deeply hurt transforms your heart in ways words alone cannot. Knowledge informs the mind. Experience shapes the person. That is why many of the wisest people you will ever meet have also endured some of the hardest seasons of life. Their wisdom did not come from having easy lives. It came from paying attention to what life was teaching them. One obstacle might teach patience. Another might teach humility. A different challenge could reveal the importance of planning, communication, or perseverance. Every lesson becomes another tool in your toolbox. Imagine a carpenter beginning a career with only a hammer. There are many jobs they simply couldn't complete. Over time, they collect saws, levels, drills, measuring tapes, and countless other tools. With each new tool, their ability grows. Our struggles build a similar collection. One challenge teaches courage. Another develops self-control. Another strengthens empathy. Another improves decision-making. Years later, when life presents a new challenge, you realize you already possess the tools to face it. Not because life became easier, but because you became wiser. Obstacles also help us identify what truly matters. When everything is going well, it's easy to focus on temporary achievements. We chase recognition, possessions, and approval without asking whether those things genuinely fulfill us. Then a major challenge arrives. Suddenly, our priorities begin to shift. We realize that health is more valuable than status. Relationships matter more than appearances. Integrity is worth more than quick success. Peace is more valuable than constant busyness. Many people don't discover these truths until adversity forces them to pause and reflect. The obstacle becomes a turning point. It redirects their attention toward what truly lasts. Another gift hidden within obstacles is creativity. When our usual methods stop working, we are forced to think differently. History is filled with remarkable innovations born during difficult circumstances. Businesses have been rebuilt after failure. Communities have grown stronger after disasters. Individuals have discovered entirely new careers after unexpected setbacks. Without the obstacle, they may never have explored a better path. Sometimes what feels like a closed door is actually an invitation to find a different entrance. This doesn't mean every obstacle is enjoyable. Some lessons come through grief, others through disappointment, some through loss or uncertainty. We should never pretend those experiences are easy, but we can choose not to let them be meaningless. Pain can either become a prison or a classroom. The difference lies in whether we ask, "Why did this happen to me?" or "What can this teach me?" That question changes everything. It transforms frustration into curiosity, fear into growth, failure into preparation, and setbacks into stepping stones. Perhaps the greatest lesson obstacles teach is this: you are capable of more than you think. Many people never realize their own strength because they never face circumstances that require it. But when life demands courage, resilience, or perseverance, something remarkable happens. You begin to discover abilities you didn't know you possessed. The obstacle becomes a mirror, reflecting strengths that had been hidden all along. Looking back years from now, you may not remember every detail of today's struggle, but you will remember what it taught you. And those lessons will continue serving you long after the obstacle itself has disappeared. Take a moment to think about one of the greatest obstacles you've overcome. What did it teach you? How did it change the way you think, act, or make decisions? Now consider the challenge you're facing today. Instead of asking how quickly it can end, ask yourself, what lesson might this experience be offering me? Sometimes the value of an obstacle isn't found in overcoming it. It's found in understanding it. Create a page in your journal titled Lessons from My Challenges. Choose one difficult experience from your past and write down at least 5 lessons it taught you. Then write one lesson you believe your current struggle may be teaching you. Return to this page whenever you face discouragement. It will remind you that every challenge leaves you wiser than before. Every obstacle carries a lesson if we're willing to learn. Experience often teaches more deeply than success ever can. Challenges sharpen wisdom, creativity, and decision-making. Adversity helps clarify what truly matters in life. Today's obstacle may become tomorrow's greatest source of strength. One day, someone may ask how you became so resilient. They may wonder how you remain calm under pressure or how you make wise decisions during difficult times. Your answer won't be found in a single moment of success. It will be found in the countless obstacles that quietly shaped you along the way. Every challenge you overcome becomes another chapter in the story of who you are becoming. And every lesson you learn brings you one step closer to the greatness that has been growing within you all along. Obstacles teach us valuable lessons, but they also reveal another important truth. No one reaches greatness entirely on their own. Even in our hardest seasons, the people around us and the way we respond to them can shape our future in extraordinary ways. In the next chapter, we'll discover how struggle deepens compassion, strengthens relationships, and reminds us that true greatness is never measured only by what we achieve, but also by how we lift others along the journey. Chapter 5. Your struggles are teaching you compassion and connection. Imagine walking through a forest after a heavy rain. You notice that the tallest trees are not standing alone. Beneath the surface, many of their roots are intertwined with the roots of nearby trees. In some forests, these underground networks even allow trees to share nutrients and support one another during difficult seasons. When one tree becomes weak, the surrounding trees help sustain it. Nature reminds us of a powerful truth. Strength does not always come from standing alone. Sometimes, true strength comes from learning how to support others and allowing others to support us. Life's struggles teach us this lesson in profound ways. When everything is going well, it's easy to become focused on our own ambitions and achievements. But hardship has a unique ability to soften our hearts. It reminds us that everyone is carrying battles we cannot see. In this chapter, we'll explore how struggle develops one of the greatest qualities a person can possess, compassion, and why genuine greatness is measured not only by personal success, but by the positive impact we have on others. Many people define greatness by accomplishments. They think of impressive careers, financial success, awards, recognition, or influence. While these achievements can certainly be meaningful, they are incomplete without character and compassion. History remembers many successful people, but the individuals who leave the deepest impact are often those who used their success to serve others. Interestingly, struggle is one of the greatest teachers of compassion. When you've experienced disappointment, you become more understanding towards someone who has failed. When you've known loneliness, you're more likely to notice the person sitting quietly by themselves. When you faced financial hardship, you appreciate the stress others may be carrying. When you've battled anxiety or uncertainty, you become less quick to judge and more willing to listen. Pain has a way of expanding our capacity to care. Think about someone who has walked through a serious illness. Often, they become incredibly sensitive to the fears and emotions of others facing similar challenges. Not because they read about it, because they've lived it. Their experience allows them to offer comfort that feels genuine. Their words carry weight because they come from understanding rather than assumption. This is one of the hidden gifts of struggle. It transforms sympathy into empathy. Sympathy says, "I feel sorry for you." Empathy says, "I understand because I've been there." People rarely forget empathy. In fact, many of the most meaningful conversations happen between individuals who recognize parts of their own story in someone else's journey. Struggle also reminds us that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Many of us grow up believing we must solve every problem on our own. We fear appearing vulnerable. We hesitate to admit when we're overwhelmed. Yet some of life's greatest breakthroughs happen when we allow trusted people to walk beside us. Imagine trying to carry a heavy piece of furniture alone. You may eventually move it, but you'll likely exhaust yourself in the process. With another person helping, the weight becomes manageable. Life is much the same. Support does not eliminate the challenge. It makes the challenge easier to carry. This truth applies not only to receiving help but also to offering it. Sometimes the greatest impact you can make is simply being present. You don't always need perfect advice. You don't need all the answers. Often, people simply need someone who listens without judgment. Someone who reminds them they are not alone. A kind conversation. A thoughtful message. A sincere word of encouragement. These simple acts may seem small to you, but they can become unforgettable moments in someone else's life. Compassion also changes the way we view success. Instead of asking, "How far can I go?" we begin asking, "How many people can I bring with me?" Great leaders understand this. They celebrate the achievements of others. They mentor. They encourage. They create opportunities. They recognize that lasting influence is built through service rather than self-promotion. Your struggles are preparing you to become that kind of person. Every lesson you've learned through hardship becomes something you can one day pass on. Perhaps you'll encourage a young entrepreneur who feels ready to quit. Maybe you'll comfort a friend navigating grief. You may inspire a family member facing uncertainty or mentor someone beginning a career you've already traveled. Your experiences become bridges that help others cross difficult seasons. Suddenly, your pain gains purpose. This doesn't mean you should seek hardship, but it does mean your hardships never have to be wasted. Every challenge you overcome equips you to offer hope to someone still fighting that same battle. Imagine how different the world would be if every person chose to transform their struggles into compassion instead of bitterness. Communities would become stronger. Families would grow closer. Workplaces would become more supportive. Friendships would deepen. Instead of competing to appear perfect, we would encourage one another to keep growing. That is the kind of greatness that lasts. Not because it earns applause, but because it changes lives. One conversation at a time. One act of kindness at a time. One person at a time. And perhaps one day, someone will thank you, not because you had all the answers, but because your own struggles gave you the heart to understand theirs. Think about a difficult season you've experienced. How has that experience changed the way you relate to others? Has it made you more patient? More understanding? More willing to listen? Now consider someone in your life who may be carrying a burden you cannot see. What simple act of kindness or encouragement could you offer them this week? Remember, compassion often begins with paying attention. Today, intentionally encourage one person. Send a thoughtful message. Make a phone call. Write a handwritten note. Offer your help without expecting anything in return. Choose someone who may need hope, even if they haven't asked for it. As you do, notice how serving others often strengthens your own heart as well. Struggle deepens compassion and empathy. Personal pain often prepares us to encourage others. Asking for help is a sign of wisdom. not weakness. True greatness is measured by the lives we positively influence. Every hardship can become a source of hope for someone else. One of the most beautiful things about overcoming struggle is that your victory rarely belongs only to you. It becomes a light for others. Your courage gives someone else permission to keep going. Your perseverance reminds another person that difficult seasons do not last forever. Your compassion becomes proof that pain can produce something beautiful. Never underestimate the power of a heart that has been refined by hardship. It may become the very reason someone else finds the strength to believe again. Compassion teaches us to walk alongside others, but struggle also shapes something deeply personal within us. As we continue our journey, we'll discover that some of life's greatest challenges don't just change how we relate to people, they change how we see ourselves. In the next chapter, we'll explore how struggle builds confidence that doesn't depend on circumstances, approval, or outward success, but on the quiet knowledge that you've already survived more than you once believed possible. Chapter 6. Your struggles are building unshakable confidence. Think about the first time you learned to ride a bicycle. You probably didn't feel confident. You may have wobbled from side to side, lost your balance, and fallen more than once. Every scrape and every failed attempt might have made you wonder if you would ever get it right. But something interesting happened. Each time you got back on the bike, you learned a little more. Your balance improved. Your movements became more natural. Eventually, you stopped thinking about staying upright. You simply rode. What changed? Your confidence wasn't handed to you. It wasn't created by someone else's praise. It wasn't the result of reading instructions. It was built through experience. The falls that once seemed like failures became the very reason you believed you could succeed. Life works much the same way. Real confidence isn't born from an easy life. It is built by facing challenges, surviving setbacks, and discovering that you are stronger than you once believed. In this chapter, we'll explore how struggle creates a kind of confidence that no circumstance can easily take away. Many people misunderstand confidence. They believe confident people never experience fear. They assume confidence means always knowing exactly what to do or never doubting themselves. But true confidence is something much deeper. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to move forward despite fear. Think about the people you admire. Whether they are leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, or parents, chances are they have all faced moments of uncertainty. They've questioned themselves. They've worried about failing. They've made mistakes. Yet they kept moving forward. Why? Because confidence grows through action, not perfection. Every challenge you overcome becomes evidence that you are capable of handling more than you once imagined. When you survive a difficult season, something changes inside you. The next obstacle may still seem intimidating, but a quiet voice begins to whisper, "You've overcome hard things before. You can do it again." That voice is confidence. It isn't loud or boastful. It doesn't seek attention. It is calm, steady, and rooted in experience. Imagine climbing a mountain. At the base, the summit looks impossibly far away. You question whether you have the strength to reach the top. But with every step, you gain experience. You learn how to navigate steep paths. You discover your endurance. You adapt to changing conditions. By the time you reach the summit, you aren't simply standing at a higher elevation. You have become a stronger climber. The mountain changed you. Likewise, every struggle leaves you more prepared for the next challenge. Confidence is built one victory at a time. Not only the big victories that others celebrate, but the quiet victories that no one sees. Choosing not to give up. Getting out of bed when motivation is low. Applying for another opportunity after being rejected. Trying again after failure. Remaining hopeful during uncertainty. These moments rarely make headlines. Yet they are the foundation of lasting confidence. One of the greatest enemies of confidence is comparison. We compare our beginning to someone else's middle. We compare our private struggles to another person's public success. Social media often magnifies this problem. We see carefully edited highlights from other people's lives and assume they have everything figured out. But every person has invisible battles. Every successful individual has experienced moments of doubt. The difference is that many chose not to let those moments define them. Instead of comparing your journey to someone else's, compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. Are you becoming a little more patient? A little more disciplined? A little more courageous? Growth is the healthiest measure of success. Another important truth is that confidence grows when we keep promises to ourselves. Imagine telling yourself you'll wake up early, exercise, finish a project, or learn a new skill. Each time you follow through, you strengthen self-trust. You begin believing your own commitments. On the other hand, repeatedly breaking promises to yourself weakens confidence. You start questioning whether you'll actually do what you say. Confidence is closely connected to integrity, not only with others, but with yourself. When your actions consistently match your intentions, confidence naturally grows. Struggle provides countless opportunities to build this kind of integrity. Every difficult decision becomes a chance to prove to yourself that you can be trusted. Over time, this creates quiet strength. Not arrogance, not pride, but genuine confidence grounded in experience. There is another reason struggle builds confidence. It reminds us that failure is survivable. Before we fail, failure often feels terrifying. We imagine it will ruin everything. Yet when failure actually happens, we discover something surprising. Life continues. We learn. We recover. We adapt. We become wiser. The fear that once controlled us loses its power. This realization frees us to take healthy risks, to pursue meaningful goals, to step outside our comfort zones. Because we understand that even if we stumble, we can stand again. That is the confidence struggle creates. Not confidence that says, "Nothing bad will happen," but confidence that says, "Whatever happens, I'll find a way forward." That kind of confidence cannot be purchased. It cannot be borrowed. It must be earned. And every challenge you overcome adds another layer to it. One day, you'll face a situation that once would have overwhelmed you. You'll remain calm. You'll make thoughtful decisions. You'll keep moving. And afterward, you'll realize something remarkable. You didn't become fearless. You became stronger. That is what struggle has been preparing you for all along. Take a moment to think about a challenge you once believed you couldn't overcome. Now look at where you are today. What did that experience teach you about yourself? What strengths did you discover that you didn't know you possessed? Now ask yourself, if I've already survived that, what else might I be capable of? Sometimes the greatest proof of your future potential is the strength you've already demonstrated. Create a list called Evidence of My Strength. Write down at least 10 challenges you've already overcome, big or small. Beside each one, write the strength that developed in you. Whenever self-doubt appears, return to this list. Let your own experiences remind you of how far you've already come. True confidence grows through experience, not perfection. Every challenge you overcome becomes evidence of your strength. Comparing yourself to others weakens confidence. Comparing yourself to yesterday builds it. Keeping promises to yourself strengthens self-trust. Real confidence says, I can handle whatever comes next. Confidence isn't built on days when everything goes your way. It's built on the days when life is difficult and you choose to keep moving anyway. Every obstacle you've faced has quietly been teaching you one powerful truth. You are far more capable than you once believed. Never underestimate the strength you've earned. It is becoming one of your greatest assets. We've now reached the halfway point of our journey together. So far, we've discovered that struggle builds strength, refines character, teaches patience, sharpens wisdom, deepens compassion, and develops lasting confidence. These lessons are already transforming the way we see adversity. But our journey isn't over. In the chapters ahead, we'll explore how struggle reveals purpose, creates resilience, inspires courage, and ultimately prepares you for a level of greatness you may not yet be able to imagine. Before we continue, I'd like to take a brief moment to thank you for spending this time with me. If this audiobook has encouraged you so far, I hope you'll take a moment to support the channel. Giving this video a like helps more people discover these life-changing lessons, and subscribing ensures you won't miss future audiobooks designed to inspire growth, resilience, wisdom, and purpose. If a particular lesson has resonated with you, consider sharing your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to know, which chapter has spoken to you the most so far, and why? Your story may encourage someone else who is walking through a similar season. Now, take a deep breath, settle back in, and let's continue our journey. Because some of the most powerful lessons are still ahead. Chapter 7. Your purpose is often discovered through your struggles. Imagine an artist standing before a large block of marble. To everyone else, it looks like nothing more than a heavy stone. But the artist sees something different. They don't focus on what the marble is today. They envision what it can become. With every careful strike of the chisel, pieces fall away. To an observer, it may appear that the sculpture is being damaged. In reality, it is being revealed. The artist isn't destroying the masterpiece. They are uncovering it. Our struggles often work in the same way. There are seasons when life seems to chip away at our plans, our expectations, and even our confidence. We wonder why so much has been taken from us. But sometimes, those difficult seasons are removing everything that doesn't belong so our true purpose can emerge. In this chapter, we'll explore one of the most encouraging truths you'll ever discover. Your greatest purpose is often found in the places where you've struggled the most. Many people spend years asking one important question: what is my purpose? They imagine purpose as one dramatic moment, a sudden realization that instantly changes everything. While that can happen, purpose more often unfolds gradually. It reveals itself through experiences, through lessons, through challenges, and surprisingly, through struggle. Think about the people whose lives have inspired millions. Very few of them began with perfect clarity. Instead, their purpose became clearer because of the obstacles they encountered. The teacher who struggled in school often develops a passion for helping students who feel left behind. The entrepreneur who once experienced financial hardship creates opportunities for others to build a better future. The counselor who overcame anxiety becomes a source of hope for those facing similar battles. The parent who grew up without encouragement chooses to raise children in an environment filled with love and affirmation. Their pain became part of their purpose. This doesn't mean hardship is good in itself. It means hardship can become meaningful when we allow it to shape the direction of our lives. Often, the areas where you've experienced the greatest difficulty are the very areas where you can offer the greatest value to others. Why? Because you understand. You know what it feels like. You've walked that road. People naturally trust those who speak from experience rather than theory. Imagine someone trying to teach you how to climb a mountain they have never climbed. Now imagine someone who has reached the summit after facing storms, exhaustion, and countless obstacles. Whose guidance would you trust more? Probably the person who has lived the journey. Life works the same way. Your experiences become part of your credibility. Your scars become evidence that healing is possible. Your perseverance becomes proof that difficult seasons can be overcome. Purpose is often less about avoiding pain and more about transforming pain into service. There is another important truth about purpose. Sometimes struggle redirects us. We become so focused on one path that we fail to notice another opportunity waiting nearby. A closed door can feel devastating. You may lose a job. A relationship may end. A carefully planned opportunity may disappear. At first, these moments seem like setbacks. But years later, many people realize those disappointments led them towards something far better than they had imagined. What felt like rejection became redirection. Think about a river flowing toward the ocean. When it encounters a large rock, it doesn't stop flowing. It adjusts its course. It continues moving forward. Eventually, it reaches its destination, not because there were no obstacles, but because it learned to move around them. Your life may require similar adjustments. Purpose is not always found by following a perfectly straight path. Sometimes it is discovered through detours. Those unexpected turns often introduce us to people, opportunities, and lessons we never would have encountered otherwise. Another way struggle reveals purpose is by helping us identify what truly matters. Difficult seasons have a way of stripping away distractions. They force us to ask deeper questions. What kind of life do I want to build? What values do I want to live by? How do I want to serve others? These questions rarely emerge during seasons of comfort. They often arise when life becomes uncertain, and the answers can reshape our future. Purpose also gives meaning to perseverance. When you understand why you're moving forward, you're more willing to endure temporary discomfort. Imagine two construction workers laying bricks. When asked what they're doing, one replies, "I'm laying bricks." The other smiles and says, "I'm helping build a hospital that will save lives for generations." Both are doing the same work, but one sees only the task. The other sees the purpose behind it. Purpose transforms ordinary effort into meaningful contribution. The same is true in your life. The long hours, the difficult conversations, the setbacks, the slow progress. When connected to a greater purpose, they become investments rather than inconveniences. Perhaps you're still searching for your purpose. If so, don't become discouraged. Instead of trying to predict your entire future, focus on faithfully growing where you are today. Learn, serve, improve, encourage others. Develop your character. Take the next right step. Purpose often becomes clearer as we continue moving forward. It is much easier to steer a moving ship than one standing still. One day, you'll look back and realize that the experiences you once wished had never happened became the very experiences that prepared you to fulfill a calling greater than yourself. That is one of life's most beautiful surprises. Your struggle was never just about survival. It was preparation for significance. Think about one challenge that has changed the direction of your life. At the time, did you see it as an opportunity? Or only as a setback? Now ask yourself, how might my experiences allow me to encourage, serve, or help someone else? Purpose often begins with that question. Write a page titled "My Story Has Value." List 3 difficult experiences you've overcome. Beside each one, write one lesson you learned and one way that lesson could someday help another person. Keep this page as a reminder that your journey has meaning far beyond your own life. Purpose is often revealed through life's greatest challenges. Your struggles can become your greatest source of wisdom and influence. Closed doors sometimes redirect us toward better opportunities. Difficult seasons clarify what truly matters. Your story has the power to inspire and encourage others. Never believe that your struggles have disqualified you from greatness. More often than not, they have qualified you for it. The very experiences you once wished you could erase may become the reason someone else finds hope. Your story is still unfolding. Every lesson, every setback, every victory is adding another chapter to a life that has the potential to make a lasting difference. Walk forward with confidence. Your purpose is not behind you. With every step you take, it is becoming clearer. Discovering purpose gives us direction, but purpose alone is not enough. Every meaningful dream will eventually encounter obstacles that test our determination. In the next chapter, we'll explore why perseverance is the bridge between potential and greatness, and how learning to keep going when life becomes difficult is one of the most valuable skills you'll ever develop. Chapter 8: Perseverance Turns Potential into Greatness. Imagine watching a sculptor create a masterpiece from a block of stone. With every strike of the chisel, small pieces fall away. If you were to visit the workshop after only a few minutes, you might see very little progress. Even after several days, the sculpture might still look unfinished. But the sculptor understands something that casual observers often forget. Great works are not created in a single dramatic moment. They are created through thousands of consistent, deliberate actions. Life follows the same principle. Many people have talent. Many have dreams. Many begin exciting journeys with passion and enthusiasm. But only a smaller number continue when the work becomes difficult. The difference between ordinary achievement and extraordinary greatness is often not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is perseverance. In this chapter, we'll discover why the ability to keep moving forward, especially when progress feels slow, is one of the greatest strengths you can ever develop. Every worthwhile goal comes with obstacles. No matter what dream you pursue, there will be moments when you feel like giving up. You may experience rejection, unexpected delays, financial pressure, self-doubt, criticism, or simple exhaustion. These moments do not necessarily mean you're on the wrong path. Often, they are simply part of the journey. Think about learning a new language. During the first few weeks, progress feels exciting. Every new word feels like an accomplishment. But eventually, improvement seems slower. Mistakes become more noticeable. Motivation begins to fade. Many people quit during this stage, not because they are incapable of learning, but because they mistake slow progress for failure. Yet those who continue eventually reach a breakthrough. The same principle applies to nearly every meaningful pursuit. Progress is rarely linear. Some days you'll move forward quickly. Other days you'll feel as though you're standing still. There may even be moments when you seem to move backward. But if you remain committed, those temporary setbacks become part of your long-term growth. Perseverance is not about never feeling discouraged. It's about refusing to let discouragement make your decisions. There will always be reasons to quit. The question is whether your reasons to continue are stronger. One of the greatest advantages of perseverance is that it develops consistency. Many people rely on motivation. They work hard when they feel inspired. But emotions naturally rise and fall. If your progress depends entirely on motivation, your results will always be unpredictable. Perseverance teaches a different approach. It says, even when I don't feel like taking the next step, I'll take it anyway. This doesn't mean ignoring rest or pushing yourself toward burnout. Healthy perseverance includes wisdom. It recognizes when to pause, recover, and regain perspective. But after resting, it continues the journey. Imagine a river flowing toward the sea. Along the way, it encounters rocks, fallen trees, and changing terrain. The river doesn't argue with the obstacles. It doesn't become discouraged. It simply keeps flowing. Sometimes it moves around the obstacle. Sometimes it gradually wears the obstacle away. But it never loses sight of its destination. That quiet persistence eventually shapes valleys, carves canyons, and transforms landscapes. Not through force, through consistency. Your life can have the same impact. Small daily efforts often accomplish far more than occasional bursts of intense activity. Reading 10 pages each day becomes dozens of books over time. Saving a small amount consistently builds financial stability. Practicing a skill regularly leads to mastery. Encouraging others every day strengthens relationships. These small actions may appear insignificant in the moment, but over months and years, they create extraordinary results. Perseverance also strengthens your identity. Every time you continue despite difficulty, you reinforce a powerful belief about yourself. I am someone who doesn't quit easily. That identity becomes one of your greatest assets. When future challenges appear, you won't rely only on hope. You'll rely on the evidence of your own history. You'll remember the obstacles you've already overcome, the setbacks you've survived, the goals you've achieved through persistence. Those memories become fuel for future perseverance. There is another reason persistence matters. Success often arrives later than expected. Many people stop just before the breakthrough. Imagine digging for water. After hours of work, you become tired. You see no results. You decide to stop. Unknown to you, fresh water was only a few inches below where you quit. How many opportunities are missed because people give up too soon? We'll never know. But we do know this. Every step forward increases the possibility of reaching the breakthrough that tomorrow may bring. Perseverance doesn't guarantee that every plan will succeed exactly as expected. Sometimes persistence reveals that a better direction exists. Sometimes it teaches us to adjust our methods while remaining committed to our purpose. There is an important distinction between giving up and changing strategies. Wise people remain flexible in their approach but steadfast in their commitment. They ask, "What can I improve?" instead of, "Why should I continue?" That mindset keeps growth alive. As you continue through life's challenges, remember this. Greatness is rarely achieved through one spectacular moment. It is built through thousands of ordinary decisions to keep going. Every difficult day you refuse to quit becomes another brick in the foundation of the life you're building. And one day, people may call you successful. They may admire your accomplishments. What they won't always see are the countless moments when perseverance quietly carried you forward. Think about a goal you've nearly given up on. What made you want to quit? Now consider this. If you continue taking small, consistent steps for another year, where could you be? Sometimes we underestimate what steady progress can accomplish over time. Ask yourself, am I measuring today's effort, or am I investing in tomorrow's results? Choose one meaningful goal that you've been neglecting. Today, take one small action toward it. Not a perfect action, not a dramatic action, just one consistent step. Then commit to repeating that habit every day this week. Remember, consistency is more powerful than intensity. Perseverance transforms potential into lasting achievement. Progress is rarely linear, but consistent effort always matters. Motivation may come and go. Commitment keeps you moving. Small daily actions create extraordinary long-term results. Greatness is built through persistence, one step at a time. There will be days when your progress feels invisible. When the road seems longer than you expected. When quitting appears easier than continuing. On those days, remember this. You don't have to see the finish line to take the next step. You only need enough courage to keep moving. Every step you take today is bringing you closer to the person you're becoming. And that person is far stronger than the one who first began this journey. Perseverance keeps us moving forward, but there is another gift hidden within our struggles. As we continue walking through life's challenges, we begin to discover a courage we never knew we possessed. In the next chapter, we'll explore how struggle transforms fear into courage and why every obstacle you overcome prepares you to face even greater opportunities with confidence. Chapter 9. Courage is born when you choose to keep moving. Picture a firefighter standing outside a burning building. The flames are fierce. The smoke fills the air. The danger is real. Do you think that firefighter feels no fear? Probably not. Fear is a natural human response to danger. Yet despite that fear, the firefighter moves forward because something greater than fear is guiding their actions. This is the true nature of courage. Courage is not living without fear. It is choosing to move forward even when fear is present. Many people spend their lives waiting to feel fearless before they take action. They wait to start the business until every risk disappears. They wait to pursue a dream until they are completely confident. They wait to have difficult conversations until they know everything will go perfectly. Unfortunately, that day rarely comes. Life doesn't remove fear before offering opportunity. Instead, it invites us to take one faithful step at a time. And with every step we take, courage grows. In this chapter, we'll discover how struggle transforms ordinary people into courageous individuals, not because fear disappears, but because they learn that fear no longer has the final word. Fear has been part of the human experience for as long as people have existed. It serves an important purpose. Fear protects us from genuine danger. It reminds us to be careful. It encourages preparation. But fear can also become a barrier when it begins controlling decisions that should instead be guided by wisdom and purpose. Think about all the opportunities fear has the power to steal. Fear whispers, "You're not qualified. You'll embarrass yourself. People will judge you. What if you fail? What if you're not good enough?" Those thoughts feel convincing because fear often speaks in possibilities rather than facts. It focuses on what might go wrong while ignoring everything that could go right. Struggle teaches us to challenge those fears. Why? Because every time we survive a difficult experience, we gather evidence that we are stronger than fear suggests. Imagine standing at the edge of a cold lake. The water looks uncomfortable. You hesitate. You imagine how cold it will feel. But eventually, you take the first step. Yes, the water is cold. Yet after a few moments, your body adjusts. Soon you're swimming comfortably. The greatest discomfort was often in the anticipation. Life presents many moments like this. The presentation you've been avoiding. The difficult conversation you've postponed. The new opportunity you've been afraid to pursue. The dream you've convinced yourself is impossible. Often, the fear before taking action is greater than the challenge itself. This doesn't mean every risk should be taken. Wisdom always matters. Preparation matters. Seeking advice matters. But after you've prepared, There comes a moment when courage must replace hesitation. Courage grows through repeated action. The first courageous decision makes the second one easier. The second prepares you for the third. Over time, courage becomes part of your identity. You begin to see yourself differently, not as someone who never feels afraid, but as someone who doesn't allow fear to make every decision. Struggle accelerates this transformation. Every obstacle you've already overcome becomes proof that you can handle more than you once believed. Remember the challenge you thought would break you. It didn't. Remember the disappointment you believed you'd never recover from. You did. Remember the uncertainty that once kept you awake at night. Eventually, you found your way through it. Each experience quietly strengthened your courage. This is why courage and confidence are close companions. Confidence says, "I've overcome difficult things before." Courage says, "Because of that, I can take the next step today." There is another powerful lesson struggle teaches about courage. It reveals that courage is contagious. When one person acts bravely, others begin believing they can do the same. Think about a leader who remains calm during a crisis. Their confidence often reassures everyone around them. Or consider a friend who openly shares their story of overcoming hardship. Their honesty gives others permission to believe healing is possible. Your courage has the potential to inspire people you may never even meet. Someone could be watching how you respond to adversity. A child may be learning resilience from your example. A co-worker may gain hope because of your perseverance. A family member may discover strength simply by observing yours. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect. In fact, authentic courage often includes admitting fear. It includes asking for help when necessary. It includes acknowledging uncertainty while continuing to move forward. That kind of courage feels real because it is. One of the greatest obstacles to courage is the fear of failure. Yet failure is not the opposite of courage. Avoiding every meaningful challenge is. Every courageous person has experienced setbacks. Every successful individual has made mistakes. The difference is that they refused to let failure become their final chapter. Instead, they viewed failure as feedback, an opportunity to improve, a lesson rather than a life sentence. As you continue your own journey, remember this. Courage doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes courage is quietly getting out of bed after a difficult week. Sometimes it's choosing forgiveness. Sometimes it's applying for one more opportunity. Sometimes it's beginning again after disappointment. Sometimes it's believing that your best days are still ahead. Those ordinary acts of courage shape extraordinary lives. And each one prepares you for the greatness waiting beyond today's struggles. Think about something you've been afraid to do. What is the fear telling you? Now ask yourself a different question. What evidence do I already have that I can handle difficult situations? Reflect on the challenges you've already overcome. How do those experiences prepare you for the next step? Remember, courage doesn't require certainty. It requires willingness. Identify one action you've been postponing because of fear. Choose something meaningful but achievable. Then commit to taking the first step within the next 24 hours. Don't wait until you feel completely ready. Action is often what creates courage. Afterward, Write down how you felt before, during, and after taking that step. You'll likely discover that the anticipation was more intimidating than the action itself. Courage is acting despite fear, not living without it. Every struggle you've overcome strengthens your ability to face future challenges. Fear often exaggerates obstacles and minimizes your abilities. Courage grows through repeated action and consistent practice. Your courage has the power to inspire others. One day, you'll look back on this season of your life. You'll remember the fears that once seemed overwhelming. And you'll smile, not because they were easy, but because they no longer control you. Every courageous step you've taken has quietly rewritten the story you tell yourself. No longer, I don't think I can. But I've overcome difficult things before, and I can keep moving forward. That is the quiet strength that struggle produces. And it is preparing you for opportunities that require not only ability, but courage. Courage gives us the strength to take the next step, even when the future is uncertain. But as we continue growing, we discover another powerful truth. Sometimes the greatest transformation doesn't happen around us, it happens within us. In the next chapter, we'll explore how struggle reshapes your mindset, helping you see challenges not as barriers to greatness, but as stepping stones that lead you toward it. Chapter 10. Your mindset determines whether struggle defeats you or develops you. Imagine two hikers standing at the base of the same mountain. Both see the same steep trail. Both carry backpacks of equal weight. Both know the climb ahead will be difficult. Yet they approach the journey very differently. The first hiker looks at the mountain and says, "This is impossible. It's too steep. I'm never going to make it." The second hiker looks at the very same mountain and says, "This will be challenging, but every step will make me stronger." The mountain hasn't changed. The weather hasn't changed. The distance hasn't changed. Only one thing is different: their mindset. Long before our circumstances determine our outcomes, our perspective shapes the way we respond to those circumstances. In this chapter, we'll discover why one of the greatest transformations that struggle produces is not simply greater strength or wisdom. It is a new way of thinking. And that new mindset can change the course of your entire life. Life is not always defined by what happens to us. More often, it is shaped by how we interpret what happens. Two people can experience the same setback and walk away with completely different futures. One believes, "This proves I'll never succeed." The other says, "This experience showed me what I need to improve." One becomes discouraged. The other becomes determined. The event is the same. The interpretation is different. That difference is mindset. Our minds naturally seek meaning. Whenever something unexpected happens, we immediately begin creating a story about it. If you lose an opportunity, you may tell yourself, "I'm not good enough." Or you may say, "This wasn't the right opportunity, and I can learn from the experience." One story creates hopelessness. The other creates possibility. The stories we repeat eventually become the beliefs we live by. That is why protecting your mindset is so important. Struggle gives us the opportunity to rewrite limiting beliefs. Imagine a child learning to walk. No parent expects perfection on the first attempt. The child falls, stands again, falls once more, then tries again. Every stumble is simply part of learning. No one says, maybe walking just isn't for you. Instead, every attempt is celebrated because progress matters more than perfection. Yet, as adults, we often become much harsher toward ourselves. One mistake convinces us we're incapable. One rejection makes us question our worth. One disappointment causes us to doubt our future. What if we approached our own growth with the same patience we naturally offer a child learning something new? What if every setback became evidence that we were learning instead of failing? That shift alone could transform the way we experience struggle. A healthy mindset also recognizes that challenges are temporary. When you're walking through a difficult season, it can feel as though life will never improve. The problem fills your thoughts. The uncertainty feels endless. But if you look back over your life, you'll notice something. Every season eventually changed. The challenges that once consumed your attention eventually became memories. Some lasted weeks. Others lasted months or even years. But none lasted forever. Remembering this helps us avoid making permanent conclusions based on temporary circumstances. It reminds us that today's reality is not necessarily tomorrow's reality. Mindset also influences the questions we ask ourselves. During hardship, it's easy to ask, why is this happening to me? While understandable, that question often keeps us focused on frustration. A more empowering question is, what can I learn from this? Or, how can this experience help me grow? These questions don't ignore the difficulty. They simply redirect our attention toward progress. The quality of our questions often determines the quality of our thinking. Another powerful mindset shift involves gratitude. At first glance, gratitude and struggle seem incompatible. How can you be grateful during difficult times? Gratitude doesn't require pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it reminds us that even difficult seasons contain reasons for hope. Perhaps you're grateful for supportive friends, for good health, for another opportunity to try again, for lessons you've already learned, for the strength you've discovered. Gratitude broadens our perspective. Instead of seeing only what we've lost, we begin noticing what remains. That perspective creates hope, and hope fuels perseverance. Mindset also determines whether we become victims of our circumstances or stewards of our choices. We cannot control every event that enters our lives, but we can choose our response. We can choose integrity over compromise, kindness over bitterness, learning over regret, hope over despair. Those choices gradually reshape our identity. One of the most encouraging truths about mindset is that it can change. You are not trapped by yesterday's thinking. Every day offers a new opportunity to develop healthier beliefs, to challenge negative assumptions, to replace fear with faith in your ability to grow, to view struggle as preparation rather than punishment. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens one thought at a time, one decision at a time, one new perspective at a time. Eventually, you'll begin noticing something remarkable. The obstacles that once discouraged you now motivate you. The setbacks that once defined you now educate you. The challenges that once frightened you now strengthen you. Not because life became easier, but because your mindset became stronger. And when your thinking changes, your actions follow. When your actions change, your future begins to change as well. That is one of the greatest gifts struggle can offer. It doesn't merely improve your circumstances. It transforms the person experiencing them. Think about a challenge you're currently facing. What story have you been telling yourself about it? Is that story helping you move forward? Or is it keeping you stuck? Now ask yourself, if I believed this struggle was preparing me instead of defeating me, how would I respond differently today? Sometimes changing the story is the first step toward changing your future. Begin a daily habit called the better question. Each evening, write down one challenge you faced during the day. Then answer these 3 questions. What did this situation teach me? What did I handle well? What will I do differently tomorrow? Over time, this simple practice will train your mind to look for growth instead of defeat. Your mindset shapes how you respond to life's challenges. The stories you tell yourself influence your future. Every setback contains an opportunity to learn and grow. Gratitude expands your perspective during difficult seasons. Changing your thinking is often the beginning of changing your life. The greatest battle you will ever fight is often not against your circumstances. It is against the belief that your circumstances define you. They do not. Your past does not define you. Your failures do not define you. Your current struggles do not define you. Your choices do. And every day, you have the opportunity to choose a mindset that moves you one step closer to the person you were created to become. Never forget, the way you see your struggle will influence the way you live your life. Choose a perspective that leads toward growth, hope, and greatness. A renewed mindset changes how we face today's challenges. But there is one final lesson that struggle teaches before we reach the end of our journey. It reminds us that greatness is not found in a single achievement, but in the legacy we leave behind. In the next chapter, we'll explore how every hardship you've endured is preparing you to make a lasting impact on the lives of others, and why true greatness is measured not only by what you accomplish, but by what continues long after you're gone. Chapter 11. Your struggles are preparing you to leave a lasting legacy. Imagine walking through a quiet park and coming across the shade of a magnificent old tree. Its branches stretch high into the sky, providing shelter from the sun. Birds build their nests among its limbs. Families gather beneath it for conversation and rest. Children laugh as they play around its sturdy trunk. The person who planted that tree may no longer be there. Perhaps they planted it decades ago, knowing they would never fully enjoy its shade. Yet because of their patience and vision, countless others benefit today. That is the nature of a legacy. A legacy is not merely what we accomplish during our lifetime. It is what continues to grow because we chose to live with purpose, integrity, and compassion. Many people spend their lives chasing temporary success. But the people remembered most fondly are often those who invested in something far greater than themselves. In this chapter, we'll discover how your struggles are preparing you not only for personal greatness, but for a legacy that can positively influence generations to come. When people hear the word legacy, they often think of wealth, buildings, businesses, or famous achievements. While those things can certainly become part of a person's legacy, they are only a small part of the picture. True legacy begins with the lives we touch. It lives in the encouragement we offer, the values we model, the kindness we extend, the wisdom we share, the integrity we demonstrate when no one is watching. Long after people forget our job titles or accomplishments, they often remember how we made them feel. They remember whether we listened, whether we kept our promises, whether we stood beside them during difficult seasons, whether we inspired them to believe in themselves. These moments may seem ordinary at the time, but they become extraordinary over the course of a lifetime. Struggle plays an important role in shaping this kind of legacy. Why? Because hardship teaches lessons that comfort rarely can. It teaches humility. It teaches gratitude. It teaches patience. It teaches empathy. It teaches perseverance. These qualities become part of our character, and our character influences everyone around us. Imagine a parent who grew up in a difficult home. Instead of allowing that pain to continue into the next generation, they choose a different path. They become patient where impatience once existed. They speak encouragement where criticism once dominated. They create stability where chaos once ruled. Their struggle becomes the reason future generations experience something better. That is legacy. Or consider a business leader who remembers what it felt like to be overlooked early in their career. Because of that experience, they intentionally mentor young employees, celebrate their successes, and create opportunities for growth. Years later, those employees become leaders who continue the same pattern. One act of kindness multiplies into hundreds more. That is legacy. Legacy is often built through small, consistent choices rather than dramatic moments. Choosing honesty when dishonesty would be easier. Choosing forgiveness instead of resentment. Choosing generosity instead of selfishness. Choosing encouragement instead of criticism. These choices shape the culture of our families, workplaces, friendships, and communities. Another important truth is that legacy begins today. Many people believe they must wait until they become successful before making a difference. They tell themselves, "When I have more money, I'll help others. When I have more influence, I'll inspire people. When life becomes easier, I'll make time for what really matters." But legacy is not postponed until someday. It is created through the decisions we make each day. The conversation you have today, the example you set today, the kindness you show today. These moments become the building blocks of the future. Struggle also reminds us that people are watching, not in a way that should create pressure, but in a way that should create purpose. Children learn by observing adults. Friends notice how we respond to disappointment. Co-workers observe our integrity during stressful situations. Family members watch how we treat those who cannot offer us anything in return. Our responses quietly teach others what matters. This is why perseverance has such power. When people see someone continue with hope despite hardship, they begin believing they can do the same. Your example may give another person the courage to keep going. Perhaps you'll never know whose life you influenced. Many of the greatest legacies are invisible. A teacher may never know which student became inspired to change the world. A parent may never fully understand how deeply their encouragement shaped a child's future. A mentor may never realize how one conversation changed the direction of someone's life. Yet the impact continues. Like ripples spreading across a lake after a single stone touches the water. Your life has the potential to create those ripples. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing to grow. One of the most encouraging truths about legacy is that your past does not disqualify you from leaving one. Perhaps you've made mistakes. Perhaps you've experienced failure. Perhaps there are chapters of your life you wish had been written differently. Those experiences do not prevent you from building a meaningful future. In fact, they often become the very lessons that enable you to help others avoid the same mistakes. Your scars can become signposts. Your failures can become wisdom. Your recovery can become hope. Legacy is not about pretending you never struggled. It is about showing others what is possible because you refused to let struggle have the final word. One day, people may not remember every achievement you've earned, but they will remember your character. They will remember your compassion. They will remember your courage. And perhaps most importantly, they will remember that your life encouraged them to become better versions of themselves. That is a legacy worth pursuing. Take a moment to imagine your life 20 or 30 years from now. When people speak about you, what do you hope they remember? What qualities do you want your family, friends, co-workers, or community to associate with your name? Now ask yourself, what choices can I begin making today that will build that legacy? Remember, tomorrow's legacy is built through today's decisions. Write a personal legacy statement. Complete this sentence. I want my life to be remembered for. Then list 5 values you want to live by every day. Choose one of those values and intentionally practice it throughout the coming week. Small, consistent actions create lasting influence. Legacy is measured by the lives you influence, not just the achievements you collect. Struggle develops the character that creates lasting impact. Everyday choices shape the future more than occasional grand gestures. Your past does not prevent you from leaving a meaningful legacy. The greatest gift you can give others is the example of a life lived with purpose and integrity. You may never fully see the impact of the seeds you're planting today. The encouraging words, the patient responses, the acts of kindness, the moments of courage. But that doesn't make them any less important. Every choice to grow instead of giving up, to forgive instead of holding bitterness, and to serve instead of seeking recognition adds another stone to the foundation of your legacy. Greatness is not only about reaching the top. It is about helping others climb after you. And every struggle you've overcome is preparing you to do exactly that. Throughout this audiobook, we've explored how struggle builds strength, shapes character, teaches patience, reveals purpose, develops courage, transforms our mindset, and prepares us to leave a lasting legacy. Now, we arrive at our final chapter. We'll bring these lessons together and discover the greatest truth of all. Your struggle was never meant to stop you. It was always preparing you for the greatness that has been growing within you all along. Chapter 12. Your greatness is being built one struggle at a time. Imagine watching a master builder construct a magnificent cathedral. From a distance, the process can seem confusing. For months, perhaps even years, all you see are piles of stone, scaffolding, and workers laying one brick after another. There is dust, noise, and what appears to be slow progress. If you judge the project too early, you might wonder whether anything remarkable would ever emerge. But the builder sees the finished masterpiece long before anyone else does. Every stone has a purpose. Every beam supports the structure. Every day of work contributes to something far greater than what is visible in the moment. Your life is much the same. There have been seasons when all you could see was the dust of disappointment, the weight of uncertainty, and the slow pace of progress. Yet beneath those experiences, something extraordinary has been taking shape. You have not been falling apart. You have been under construction. In this final chapter, we'll gather every lesson we've learned and discover why your struggles have never been random. They have been preparing you for a life of meaning, resilience, and lasting greatness. As we reach the end of this journey, take a moment to look back, not just on the chapters of this audiobook, but on your own life. Think about the challenges you've faced, the dreams that were delayed, the disappointments that tested your faith, the failures that humbled you, the moments when you questioned whether you had the strength to continue. At the time, those experiences may have seemed meaningless. But today, perhaps you can see them differently. Every struggle has been teaching you something. Every obstacle has been shaping you. Every setback has been preparing you. When we began this audiobook, we asked a simple but powerful question. What if your struggle isn't proof that you're failing? What if it's proof that you're being prepared? Now, after walking through 12 chapters together, you can answer that question with greater confidence. You've learned that struggle builds strength. Without resistance, resilience never develops. You've discovered that adversity reveals character. Pressure exposes who we truly are and gives us the opportunity to grow. You've seen that patience is not wasted time. It is preparation for opportunities that require maturity and wisdom. You've learned that obstacles are teachers. They sharpen your judgment, deepen your understanding, and strengthen your ability to make wise decisions. You've discovered that pain can expand your compassion. Your hardships allow you to understand and encourage others in ways that comfort never could. You've seen that confidence is earned. It grows each time you face difficulty and refuse to surrender. You've explored how purpose often emerges from the very struggles you once wished would disappear. Your experiences have prepared you to make a unique contribution to the lives of others. You've learned that perseverance is the bridge between potential and achievement. Small, consistent steps accomplish remarkable things over time. You've discovered that courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to move forward even when fear tries to convince you to stop. You've seen how mindset transforms struggle into opportunity. The way you interpret life's challenges often determines how you respond to them. And finally, you've learned that every lesson, every victory, and every act of faithfulness contributes to a legacy that can outlive you. Taken individually, each lesson is powerful. Together, they reveal something even greater. Greatness is not an event. It is a process. It is not reserved for a fortunate few. It is built within ordinary people who choose extraordinary perseverance. Many people spend their lives waiting for one defining moment, one opportunity, one breakthrough, one dramatic success. But greatness is rarely found in one moment. It is found in thousands of ordinary decisions. Choosing hope instead of despair. Choosing discipline instead of excuses. Choosing gratitude instead of bitterness. Choosing courage instead of fear. Choosing growth instead of comfort. Day after day, year after year, these choices quietly shape your future. Another truth worth remembering is that your journey will continue after this audiobook ends. New challenges will come. New opportunities will appear. New lessons will emerge. That should not discourage you. It should encourage you. Because you now know something you may not have fully understood before. Future struggles are not necessarily signs that you've taken a wrong turn. They may simply be the next stage of your preparation. Each new season will ask something different of you. Some seasons will require patience. Others will require courage. Some will demand humility. Others will call for bold action. But every season offers another opportunity to grow. Think of your life as a river. The river does not stop flowing because it encounters rocks. It moves around them. Sometimes it slows. Sometimes it rushes. Sometimes it changes direction. Yet it continues toward its destination. Your journey may not always follow the path you expected. But if you continue learning, growing, and moving forward, every experience becomes part of the person you are becoming. Perhaps the most beautiful realization is this. The greatness you've been searching for has never been something waiting outside of you. It has been quietly growing within you all along. Every act of kindness, every difficult decision, every setback you survived, every lesson you embraced, every time you chose to keep going. Together, they have been building a stronger, wiser, more compassionate version of you. And that person is prepared for opportunities that yesterday's version of you could not yet handle. So when life becomes difficult again, and at times it will, remember this journey. Remember that growth often happens beneath the surface. Remember that preparation is rarely comfortable. Remember that the strongest foundations are invisible before they become visible. Above all, remember this. Your struggle is not the end of your story. It is part of the process that is preparing you for greatness. Take a quiet moment and ask yourself these questions. What struggle has shaped me the most? How have I become stronger because of it? What kind of person do I want to become from this day forward? How can I use my experiences to encourage someone else? Don't rush your answers. These questions are not merely about understanding your past. They are about shaping your future. Write yourself a letter dated 1 year from today. Describe the person you hope to become. Focus less on what you want to achieve and more on who you want to be. Write about the qualities you want to strengthen. Courage, patience, compassion, discipline, integrity, hope. Seal the letter or save it somewhere safe. Read it 1 year from now and celebrate how far you've come. Greatness is built through consistent growth, not overnight success. Every struggle contributes to your preparation. Your mindset determines how you respond to adversity. Small daily choices shape your future more than occasional big moments. Your greatest influence will come from the person you become. One day, you'll look back on this season of your life. The struggles that once felt overwhelming will become milestones that remind you how far you've traveled. You'll realize that every challenge carried a lesson. Every delay carried preparation. Every setback carried wisdom. And every victory, large or small, proved that you were capable of far more than you imagined. Never lose sight of this truth. You were not created to remain where you are today. You were created to grow, to learn, to serve, to inspire, and to become someone whose life leaves the world better than they found it. Walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with hope. And whenever the road becomes difficult, remember, your struggle is not standing between you and greatness. It is helping build the greatness within you. As we come to the end of this audiobook, I want to invite you to pause for just a moment. Not to think about everything you still have to accomplish. Not to focus on the goals you haven't reached yet. Instead, reflect on the person you've become. Think about the challenges you've survived, the disappointments you've overcome, the mornings you got up even when you didn't feel like it, the nights you stayed hopeful when answers didn't come easily, the moments when you chose to keep going, even though giving up would have been easier. Those moments matter. In fact, they may be the most important moments of your life. Why? Because they shaped you. Success often changes what we have. Struggle changes who we are. And who you become will always be more valuable than anything you achieve. As you move forward from today, remember that life will continue to present new opportunities and new challenges. There will still be seasons of uncertainty. There will still be unexpected obstacles. But now you can face them with a different perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you can begin asking, "What is this preparing me for?" That single question has the power to transform frustration into curiosity, fear into courage, and setbacks into opportunities for growth. Your journey is far from over. In many ways, it's only beginning. Closing summary. Let's take one final walk through the lessons we've explored together. Chapter 1. Your struggle is building strength you cannot see. You discovered that every challenge develops resilience, endurance, and inner strength. Growth often happens beneath the surface long before it becomes visible. Chapter 2. Struggle reveals the character that greatness requires. You learned that pressure reveals who we truly are and gives us the opportunity to strengthen qualities like integrity, humility, patience, and honesty. Chapter 3. Patience is preparing you for the right opportunity. You discovered that waiting seasons are not wasted seasons. While you wait, you're becoming the person capable of handling future opportunities wisely. Chapter 4. Every obstacle is teaching you something success never could. You learned that adversity provides lessons no classroom can teach. Every obstacle sharpens wisdom, improves decision-making, and develops emotional maturity. Chapter 5. Your struggles are teaching you compassion and connection. You discovered that personal pain often expands your ability to understand and encourage others. Your hardships become opportunities to serve. Chapter 6. Your struggles are building unshakable confidence. You learned that confidence grows from experience, not perfection. Every challenge you overcome becomes evidence of your strength. Chapter 7. Your purpose is often discovered through your struggles. You discovered that life's greatest challenges often reveal your calling. Your experiences become tools that allow you to positively impact others. Chapter 8. Perseverance turns potential into greatness. You learned that consistency matters more than occasional bursts of motivation. Small daily actions eventually create extraordinary results. Chapter 9. Courage is born when you choose to keep moving. You discovered that courage isn't the absence of fear. It is the decision to keep moving despite fear. Chapter 10. Your mindset determines whether struggle defeats you or develops you. You learned that perspective changes everything. The way you interpret life's challenges often determines the direction of your future. Chapter 11. Your struggles are preparing you to leave a lasting legacy. You discovered that true greatness isn't measured only by personal success, but by the lives you influence and the example you leave behind. Chapter 12. Your greatness is being built one struggle at a time. Finally, you learned that greatness is not one dramatic achievement. It is built daily through character, perseverance, courage, wisdom, compassion, and hope. Together, these lessons form one powerful truth. Your struggles have never been working against you. They have been preparing you for the person you are becoming. Knowledge becomes valuable only when it is put into practice. So over the next 7 days, I invite you to take this simple challenge. Day 1. Recognize your strength. Write down 3 difficult experiences you've overcome and the strengths each one developed within you. Day 2. Practice gratitude. List 10 things you're thankful for today, including one challenge that ultimately taught you an important lesson. Day 3. Face one fear. Take one small action you've been avoiding because of fear. Remember, courage grows through action. Day 4. Encourage someone. Send a message, make a phone call, or offer sincere encouragement to someone who may need hope. Your story could become part of theirs. Day 5. Improve one habit. Choose one small habit that supports your long-term goals and commit to practicing it consistently. Small improvements lead to remarkable transformation. Day 6. Reflect on your purpose. Spend 15 quiet minutes writing about how your struggles have shaped your values and how you hope to use those experiences to serve others. Day 7. Write your future story. Write a letter describing the person you hope to become 1 year from now. Focus on character rather than achievements. Then begin living like that person today. Complete this challenge, and you'll begin turning the lessons from this audiobook into lasting habits. Before we say goodbye, I want to leave you with one final thought. There will be days when life feels heavy. Days when progress seems invisible. Days when you'll wonder whether all your effort is worth it. When those days come, remember the seed growing beneath the soil. Remember the tree strengthened by the storm. Remember the river that never stops flowing around obstacles. Remember the sculptor patiently revealing a masterpiece. And most importantly, remember yourself. Remember everything you've already survived. Remember every lesson you've learned. Remember every obstacle you've overcome. You are living proof that you are stronger than many of the challenges that once seemed impossible. Your future will not be determined by how many times life tests you. It will be determined by how many times you choose to rise again. So keep believing, keep learning, keep serving, keep growing, keep taking one faithful step after another. Because every step is shaping the remarkable person you are becoming. And that journey is one of the greatest accomplishments of all. If this audiobook has inspired or encouraged you, I invite you to carry its lessons into your everyday life. Choose one idea that resonated with you the most and begin applying it today. Transformation doesn't happen through information alone. It happens through consistent action. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please consider supporting the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who may need encouragement today. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which lesson impacted you the most, and what is one action you'll take because of it? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to read. Thank you for spending this time with us. We hope this audiobook has encouraged you, challenged you, and reminded you that every season of life holds an opportunity to grow. If you enjoyed listening, be sure to explore our collection of audiobooks covering personal growth, leadership, success, finance, communication, wisdom, mindset, relationships, and lifelong learning. Remember, lasting success is built one day, one decision, and one lesson at a time. Until our next audiobook, continue growing, continue learning, continue believing, and never stop becoming the person you were created to be. Thank you for listening, take care, and we'll see you in the next audiobook. The end.